The Zohar tells us the story of the revelation of this amazing light, of the light of the Zóhar. And as with any true and great revelation, it had to come with difficulty. Great revelations do not come easily. And the Zohar tells us, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai azale ve'arak limidbar delud. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who lived 2,000 years ago, during the time of the Roman control over what is now Israel or Palestine, he had to run away because the Romans who killed his teacher, Rabbi Akiva, wanted to kill him as well. V'itganez bechad me'arta, and he hid in a cave. Hu ve'Rabbi Elazar berei, Rabbi Shimon and his son together ran away and hid in the cave. The Zohar tells us that a miracle happened. Unefak lehu chad charuva, and a carob tree sprouted, and a well of water began flowing, so that they had food and drink. The Zohar teaches that they ate from that carob and drank from that well. And during that whole time that they were in the cave, Have Eliyahu zal, atilon b'chol yom atrei zimni. Twice a day, the great channel of light, Elijah, the prophet, would come to them and teach them. Velo yada inish behu, and nobody knew where they were. This was the beginning of the process of the revelation of the Zohar. They had to run away. They had to hide. But because of that hardship, they merited that the great Elijah the prophet would come twice a day and teach them these tremendous secrets. The Zohar tells us that one day the sages, the scholars, were sitting and studying, and they came to a difficult section in the Bible which they couldn't understand. Kam Rabbi Yehuda Bar Ilai, one of the great scholars, Rabbi Yehuda, got up and he said, Chaval al griuta de Bar Yochai, woe that we are missing the great soul of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. Veleit man de yadamine, and nobody knows where he is because he was hiding in the cave. The great scholars were at a loss because this great spiritual giant, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, had to run away and hide. One day, Rabbi Yossi, one of his other students, woke up in the morning, Chami kol inun ofen di inun havutasan, and he saw all kinds of birds flying in the sky. Kata pit kachada, Rabbi Yossi wrote a letter and a question to Rabbi Shimon. The dove took the letter in its mouth and he went to fly to Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon saw the dove and he saw the letter. And the Zohar tells us, Bachahu ve'Rabbi Elazar berei. Bachahu ve'Rabbi Elazar berei. Rabbi Shimon and his son Rabbi Elazar began crying. Ve'amar, and he said, I am crying that I am separated from my friends, from the other scholars. Ubachin an milin ilin, and I'm crying also that these secrets are not being revealed. While Rabbi Shimon and his son were crying, Elijah the prophet came, and he said, I was on a different mission. We know that these great souls would go on missions that the Creator would send them to when people are in need or in pain. But when the Creator saw your pain, Rabbi Shimon, he sent me here to assist you, to help you. Rabbi Shimon wrote an answer, and he put it in the mouth of the dove, and he sent the dove to Rabbi Yossi. And the Zohar tells us that Rabbi Yossi was sitting all of that day and waiting for the answer from Rabbi Shimon. And when he saw the dove, he was filled with so much joy. He thanked the dove for its mission. And he said, from all the birds of the sky, the dove is the most trustworthy. Rabbi Yossi hurriedly took the message and he went to the rest of the friends and he showed them. And the Zohar tells us, Bacha Rabbi Yehuda ve'amar. Rabbi Yehuda cried and he said, even though we don't know where Rabbi Shimon is, his light, his power shines throughout the world. Atar de Bar Yochai taman, chevraya bahadei. Wherever Rabbi Shimon is, wherever the son of Yochai is, we are there with him. Umit'arin minei ve'olfin minei, and we study and receive the light from him. Wherever Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is, the friends are with him. They are awakened by him and they learn from him. He continued and said, Zakah nafshei de Bar Yochai. Worthy is the soul of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. because the Creator through him does great miracles. V'yu gazer v'kudsha berichu mekayem. And Rabbi Shimon has the power, the ability to decree, to decide that things should be a certain way, and the Creator must listen. And the Zóhar tells us that Rabbi Shimon will be and is Reisha l'Tzadikaya. He is the first, the leader of all the righteous souls that ever lived. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai then is not simply a channel for this great revelation. He is a tremendous source of light himself. He achieved heights that almost no other spiritual giant ever reached. The beauty then is when we connect to the Zóhar, we not only connect to the concealed light, the Or HaGanuz, we also have the opportunity to connect to the great light that is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. This is a very exciting and important understanding. Every time we connect to the Zóhar, every time we study the Zóhar, our consciousness should be not only of connecting and revealing the Or HaGanuz, the concealed light, in our life and for the world, but it also should be to connect to the great power of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, one of the greatest spiritual giants who ever lived. And that is the opportunity we have through the Zóhar. It is said that when Rav Ashlag finished his commentary on the Zóhar, we know that Rav Yehuda Ashlag was the first Kabbalist to complete an entire translation into Hebrew and commentary on the entire Zóhar. When he finished his translation, when he finished his work, which he began, not coincidentally, during the Second World War, and there were many people who came to him and said, there's such a time of crisis, now is not the time to be writing books, now is the time of action. But he said, and this is an important Kabbalistic principle, that from the greatest darkness can come the greatest light. And it is because the world at this point is in such a dark place that the light and the energy of the Zóhar can really become revealed, really can start the process of revealing it to the entire world. And it is because of that during the Second World War, Rav Ashlag began the process of translation, revelation of the Zóhar. And it is said that when he finished the translation, the work that took him many years, he traveled up to Meron, where Rav Shimon Bar Yochai is buried, and he had a meal there. And during that meal, during that get-together, that celebration, he told his students that they should hum a tune without words. Music, no words. He said, because there are no words in the world that can express how amazing, how important this time is, that the Zóhar is beginning to be revealed throughout the world. And every single one of us has the opportunity, the ability to continue that process, to reveal not the information of the Zóhar, but the light of the Zóhar throughout the world. As Rav Ashlag knew then, the further this light goes, the more the light of the Zóhar is revealed in the world, the less room there is for darkness, for pain and for suffering. So therefore it is our job not only to study and connect to the Zóhar for ourselves, to reveal and grow light for ourselves, but more importantly even, the power of the Zóhar is to reveal light so much in the world that there is no longer room for darkness. The Zóhar writes in Naso, in the section of Naso, that it is the energy, the light within the Zóhar, that will bring about what the Kabbalists call the final redemption, or the end of pain of suffering from this world, even the removal of death. It is the revelation of this light throughout the world. When a critical mass of this light is revealed in the world, pain and suffering must end. This was the Zóhar's prediction 2,000 years ago, and it is something every single one of us who begins their connection to the Zóhar must take to heart. So we connect to the Zóhar, we study the Zóhar, we reveal the light of the Zóhar, not only to reveal light into our lives and into those around us, but more importantly, we connect and reveal the light of the Zóhar because we know that it has the promise, the potential to remove pain and suffering from this world. And therefore, every time we connect to the Zóhar, certainly we think about ourselves, we think about those around us, but we never forget the true potential of the Zóhar. It has a global objective, that every time I and every single one of us connects and reveals a little bit more of the light of the Zóhar in this world, a little bit more pain and suffering is removed from this world. And ultimately, when enough people are connecting to the Zóhar, when enough of the light of the Zóhar is revealed, as the Zóhar told us 2,000 years ago, when that occurs, the pain and suffering that is so much around us in this world today can completely be removed.